What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Kid Touch. I don't have a lot of time to make this video right here, but this kind of had to be the topic of today's video, and it's talking about parity in the NBA, something I addressed a lot during the offseason. You know, we think a lot about how teams are going to stack up in the next season, in the offseason. We do a lot of thinking in the offseason. I mean, think about it. I have to make all those lists in the offseason. I'm getting bored. I'm thinking about, wow, what could happen in this new NBA season? Well, I have a lot to talk about in this video. I mean, maybe it's not a lot, but I can get it done. And yeah, before I get into it, I just want to say, please leave a like if you enjoy it. Comment something down below, whatever you feel. Subscribe if you're new. And I got a gaming channel, links in the description. Now, let's get it started. Tomorrow we'll have 2 videos with highlights. People have been asking me for that. We'll get that back. Just how good, and maybe a draft video. I'm not sure. But yeah, we're going to get started here. And we're going to be talking about the competitiveness and the overall parity and stacking of the teams in the NBA. A lot of people seem to think that it's just Cleveland and Golden State and everybody else, and other people think that it's just Golden State, Cleveland, San Antonio, maybe LA Clippers, and then everybody else. I mean, for some reason we have this sort of mindset that no one can touch the NBA Finals unless you're Cleveland or Golden State, and the Spurs might have a little chance and the Clippers might have a minimal chance, but for the most part, teams besides those 4 teams, I mean, I don't think there's anyone out there thinking the Raptors are going to win the NBA Finals besides a Raptors fan. I don't know if you're going to find someone on the face of the earth that thinks that the Raptors are going to win the NBA Finals this year that's not a Toronto Raptors fan. Literally, I don't think you're going to find a person on the face of the earth that thinks the Bulls are going to win the NBA Finals that's not a Bulls fan. I don't think there's a person on the face of the earth that thinks that the Celtics or the Hawks or any other pretty good team in the Eastern Conference is going to win the NBA Finals this year. And it's because we have this illusion in our head that, you know, LeBron has to do it every year. And yes, LeBron has been fantastic, okay? Year after year after year, and he's cemented himself as the Eastern Conference champion year after year after year. I mean, the guy is really unflappable in the Eastern Conference. No one can hold him. Wherever he's at, whatever team he's playing for, he's always going to be in the finals. And it's like we're getting used to that as fact. Well, it's got to end sometime. LeBron can't be that guy forever. He's going to decline. I know that he's still at a very high point in his NBA career. The guy has been fantastic in this season, but a couple of games in a row for him not going very good. And this video is initially about, you know, the good teams losing, because, you know, we expect when Cleveland plays Milwaukee that they would win. We expect the Clippers when they play Brooklyn that they would win. We expect the Spurs when they play Orlando that they would win. All 3 of those teams lost, and then last night we got a little bit of extra. I mean, we literally had LeBron lose to the Clippers, which, okay, I mentioned the Clippers in my group of teams that, you know, those top 4, but the Cavs losing 2 in a row, and then on the same night the Warriors take a fat L to the Houston Rockets. Okay, not a fat L, it was a double OT loss. It was a crazy game. Houston was just sniping, like, unbelievable. Point is, we had 5 losses from top 4 teams, and I believe it was a 3-day stretch. And the fact that I saw somewhere that there was a less than 1% chance that the Spurs, the Cavs, and the Clippers would all lose on that night a couple nights ago when they all did lose. It happened. Crazy, right? But we don't expect that to happen. You see, we don't expect Cleveland to lose to Milwaukee. We don't expect the Clippers to go into double OT and Doc Rivers to get thrown out and Sean Kilpatrick to drop 38 points and grab 14 boards and lead the Nets to a victory over the Clippers. We don't expect the Spurs to lose to the Magic at home. Hell no. That's all stuff that is great about the game of basketball. And a lot of times people, yes, I said it already, they write off the NBA season. They say, oh, well, it's going to be Cleveland and Golden State anyway. Hey, Cleveland can take a couple L's. It's through. You know, they're going to be in the finals anyway. Well, LeBron James has played a couple of his worst basketball games in years. I mean, last night, he had a terrible game. And the Milwaukee game, he also had a bad game. And his turnovers have been up. And he just hasn't been that efficient. He's not playing well right now. He's at a bad stretch. He might take another game off to get some rest, or a few games off to get some rest, so he can get back out there and be fresh for a little while. LeBron is the key to that Cavs team. If LeBron's not 100%, this team isn't 100%, and they're not they're not a guaranteed Eastern Conference champion if LeBron's not there to carry them. I mean, honestly, Kyrie Irving isn't ready. And I've said this before, but we see it all the time. In recent years and this year, when LeBron James doesn't play or when LeBron James is out of the game, that team suffers. They are not good without LeBron James, and it's just not good enough. Now, LeBron's got to hold up, and he's a great player. But look, I just want to get rid of all these guarantees. I don't like that it's guaranteed that the Cavs and the Warriors are meeting for a rematch in the finals. I don't like that. And obviously it's likely. Do I think it's going to happen? Hey, if I had to make a bet on who would be in the finals, yeah, I would. But I'm not guaranteeing anything because you never know what could happen. The Golden State Warriors dropped a game to the Rockets last night. Is that going to happen every time they play? No. But it just goes to show that they're human. I mean, they're not perfect. No NBA team is perfect. The Cavs, I saw something that said that when Blake Griffin had 11 assists in the game, the Cavs had 7 assists. Blake Griffin out-assisted the Cavs at a certain point, 11-7. I mean, that's just, how is that even possible? It's Blake, whatever. We know that these teams can't be great all the time. You can expose a team's weaknesses, and if you have a good enough squad, you can really counter a team's strengths as well. Now, let's talk about the specifics. We didn't really talk about last night's games. The Cleveland Cavaliers got absolutely bulldozed at home, because around halftime, the Clippers went on a big run, and they had J.J. Redick sniping, and Chris Paul was he was being a maestro out there, and he was burying three-pointers, and he was on point that game. He really did his job. The Clippers just played a nice all-around game. Their bench got involved. I mean, they really did it all, and the Cavs had no answer. They weren't moving the ball. LeBron just wasn't really involved enough at all. I mean, the guy needs to take over a game like that, but they let it slip away, and the Clippers took a 20-point victory, big win. And the Rockets-Warriors game, this one was absolutely crazy. I mean, we come in here, James Harden against this Big Four or super team or whatever, and it ends up being the Ryan Anderson and Eric Gordon show from three-pointers. And yes, James Harden was doing it all this game. I mean, he was absolutely on point as well. He was leading. He was that guy that the Houston Rockets want him to be. That's the James Harden that I didn't doubt that James Harden, because I thought that, if James Harden was going to be lazy and he can continue to put up these crazy numbers, but if he's a lazy player, which he was last year for a good chunk of that season, he wasn't really trying. He wasn't. That's just the truth. That he wasn't going to go anywhere, if he kept playing like that. But this year, there's a newfound mentality. He's more in control. His head is there, and he's playing great. I mean, y'all saw him last night. He was so into it. He was so into the game. He actually defended extremely well on that last shot by Kevin Durant to end, I believe it was, the first overtime. At the end of the first overtime, he closed out. He had a beautiful closeout on Kevin Durant, forced him to airball what would have been the game-winning shot, and then they went on to win the game, and he carried them. And that's crazy to me because it's one guy carrying a team, and yes, I know he had some great help. His teammates knocked down shots, but it's all because of him. He dictates everything going out there, and yeah, Ryan Anderson was, oh my God, Ryan Anderson, this guy just lit up the Golden State Warriors. It was like 1 against 4. You going in, you look at how the team stack up. You say, oh, it's James Harden against 4 great players and their team. James Harden and his team against 4 great players and their team. But it didn't really matter because his support stepped up and he really led them. Durant, he put up a nice stats sheet. I mean, Durant's been doing it all year. He's had just amazing statistical outputs. But, James Harden got the W and the triple-double, man. The Rockets are better than people think. I believe they're 12-6 now. Something like that. 4th in the Western Conference, I believe. And those top 3 Western Conference teams are no joke. So if you're 4th in the Western Conference, you're doing something right. And the Rockets are. That can do it all for this video. This was basically just to remind you guys that the NBA, you don't know what's going to happen. Okay? Nothing is a sure thing. I love the NBA because of that and many other reasons. I'm a huge basketball fan. I love talking about it. I love watching it so much. And, I can't wait until we get farther into this season because so many players have just shown out and done incredible things so far. And, I can't wait to see more. If y'all enjoyed, please leave a like, comment what you thought about it, who you think is really that underdog team that could, make a run for the NBA Finals. I didn't really mention any Western Conference teams besides those big 3 of the Warriors, Spurs, Clippers. But, hey, you never know, right? That's going to do it. Please like, comment, subscribe, I'm out. Thanks for watching, y'all. Peace.